On Contractor Stories today, we've got Dustin Bower, reputable roofing and remodeling. Dustin, how are you?
Doing well yourself?
I am living the dream. I can't wait to hear your story. You're a young guy who's doing amazing things. And before I forget, I definitely want to talk about the fact that you're going to double your business this year. And we want to hear all about that. But before that, why don't you tell me a little bit about your business as it stands today? You do roofing and remodeling, correct?
That's right. The roofing and remodeling. Most of it's roofing.
Most of it's roofing.
Yep.
Um, I love the roofing space. It's a great business. There always seems to be money in it because often it's insurance money, which is good. When people need to get their roof replaced, they're going to get it replaced. And it's one of those remodel types jobs. I consider a roof replacement a remodel. It's you go in, shingles off, and you put the new shingles down, you clean up, and you're in and out within 1 to 3 days max, right?
Yeah. 95% of our jobs get done in one day.
1 day. So tell me about that process. 1 day is a lot if it's a decent sized roof. Tell me the process. You guys assess the roof, you make the sale, and then you drop off materials, and then it's 1 day.
Yeah. So we'll get there. We'll go out. We'll have an estimator go out, sell the job.
Hmm.
The shingles will get delivered the day before or the morning of, so they're not sitting in the people's yard killing their grass or in their driveway, blocking the cars from getting in and out of the garage. We show up right at daylight.
Hmm.
Sometimes that's 7, sometimes that's 8. Just depends on time of the year. And anything up to 50 square of asphalt shingles, we can get done in one day, no problem. We get into the more commercial roofs. We're doing a lot more commercial now. So them 10, like we're doing an amusement park by our house right now in Mason, Ohio. It's called Kings Island.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was a 14-day job.
Wow.
We projected it to be around 30. We would rather tell the people it's going to take longer and end up being a hero rather than a zero if we tell them 14 and it takes 30. So yeah, most jobs though are asphalt shingles are done in one day.
When it comes to the homeowner, what makes you guys different? If you guys are going to be selling a roof, I mean, isn't a roofer a roofer a roofer? I mean, what's the difference?
So I would say the roofer is a roofer if they know how to roof and they're professional.
Mhm.
We have one main guy with 3 different crews that we use. We have a 14-step process. He sends pictures over so that we know that he grind and tucked the chimney, that he put ice and water shield where it was supposed to go. When we go in and talk with the homeowner, I have trained my staff to literally be a servant.
Mm.
And if you are a servant, just have a conversation and you train your brain to say, I'm here to serve you and really think that and really do that. The sale comes very natural after that because people can sense that. Are you there to serve me or are you there to sell me? So we go in there and come up with a solution. We just did a repair on a roof. A guy that said that the roofer before us said that the whole thing needed replaced. We wish it did, and probably a $50,000 contract, but it ended up being a $1,500 repair, and it solved his issue. And then I guarantee he's going to call us. We're in this for longevity, not right now business.
Yeah, it's not so much a transactional business for you. This is a service company that will assess, repair, and replace. And what you're saying is you're not one of those roofers that say, you know what, you need a new roof. You're like, you know what, most of this roof is fine. Let's repair this portion, um, but keep us in mind when it's time to replace.
Yes, and we've had return customers countless times because of that.
Yeah, so it's all about service. A lot of people in the contracting space don't understand how important service is. Whether you're repairing something or replacing something, people want to buy from people they know, like, and trust. If they're
That's right.
forced to buy from you and they don't like you and they don't trust you, you won't get referrals and repeat business. And sometimes you, as the supplier of the service and product, may be in a position where, for whatever reason, your customer doesn't have a choice right now and they have to buy from you. That's not a good position long term, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a necessity business. We have scraped and shoveled off snow off of a homeowner's roof.
Mm.
Now they don't seal down like they're supposed to. However, we can control that for right then and there. Then in the spring, we can come up and heat up and re-roll the roof so it lays down like it's supposed to.
Yeah, in your part of the country, Ohio, you get the best of everything. You get a real winter and a real summer. What's the best time of year to replace someone's roof if it doesn't need to be replaced? Now, let's say you can kind of patch it up, but I want a new roof. What's the best season for you?
Um, so we're a preferred contractor through Owens Corning. They're a
Oh,
Fortune 500 company. They're an amazing company at that. However, the specs say it's supposed to be 42 and rising to get a roof done. So we're pushing into April now.
mm.
So I'm saying starting in March, going through October, Novemberish, that's a big window to get your roof done. That way it seals down properly.
I agree. Another great time to get your roof done is if you're moving and you're moving into the house that needs a new roof. Get it done before you move in. It's just more convenient, but it's not as big of a deal as people think. People think, "Gosh, do I have to move out of my house for a few days while these people are, doing my roof?" I had my roof redone. It took a little bit more than a day. I think it was 2 days. I've got a pretty big roof, and all they warned me, the roofers just said, "You know what? You might wanna take some of the pictures off your walls on the 2nd floor because we're gonna have to do some banging and scraping." Is that fair to say that there might be a little movement on that top floor?
So I'm sure you've done your research and you had a good contractor because that's really good advice.
Mm,
We tell homeowners the same thing. We pride ourselves on cleanup. I used to ask homeowners if you had a magic wand, what would be the number one thing you could change on your last construction project? And almost every single time, it was cleanup. So we pride ourselves on cleanup a lot as well. But yeah, that's very good advice. We tell them that. We tell them if you have dogs that
yeah.
bark a lot on noise, it's pop 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 for 8 to 10 hours. So it's loud. I tell them if they work from home, either go to the very end of the basement or go to the library or a friend's house,
Mhm.
Starbucks, something for the day because it is very annoying inside.
I totally agree. As a matter of fact, if you wanna spend some time outside and your neighbor 6 houses down is getting a roof put on, you'll know it. It sounds like someone shooting a gun to an extent. It is a gun, it's a nail gun.
Yeah.
But, you can tell when your neighbor's having a roof put on, because it does make that noise, and so I got good advice. I'm glad to hear that. Cleanup is important. Something that you really don't want is days later, months later, years later to find all of these nails and debris in your flower beds. That's
Yeah.
irritating.
Yeah, I encourage homeowners to go out there after we are completely done. Like the next day after the invoice is sent out, we bill upon completion. So after you see that, I encourage them to go out and I encourage them, hey, if you find more than a handful of nails, I want to know. You're not complaining. I want to know. Therefore, my I can inform my contractors to make sure they do a better cleanup. And I've dinged them in the past, and that has really helped as well. I always tell them keep the shoes on the kids for this spring, this summer. Anything after that, if it is out there, it's going to go below the soil anyway. But for this spring and summer, especially if they've got a pool and there's a lot of movement running back and forth, to just keep the shoes on the kids the first few months after.
Yeah, Dustin, besides rolling magnets over the ground after the fact, is there any way to catch these nails before they hit the ground? Is there some kind of contraption or some type of invention someone's made?
There's multiple there's a business that has this netting that goes down, you can tie it to the dumpster. Um, that's depending on the size of the roof, that's about a $1,500 upcharge to the customer.
Wow.
That's a service that we could provide, and we have. We just push it straight to the customer. We don't make any money off of it.
Mhm.
If they've got prestige gardening and they don't want us in it, I'm very transparent. There will be debris going in that if we don't do this. So if they want to protect it, then we'll do that. But for $1,500, I mean that's a lot of money to some people, and I feel like we're very efficient. We do put tarps down over the flowers. If it's hot out, it may hurt them. So we have a conversation. We're in the home not 20, 30 minutes. We're in the home about 2 hours when we're there. We educate you on the roof. We give you options. We don't just say, "Hey, we're going to do your roof," and you have nothing. I always prep homeowners and say, "We need you both there, all the decision makers." And the reason why is we're going to ask for your business that day. And we don't want you trying to relay messages or information to the other person in charge. So we're going to come out. Both homeowners need to be there. And it's it's an investment at the end of the day in your home and your pocket. I mean, it's an investment. So I always tell homeowners, if I was your financial advisor and I say our average ticket's about 12.5, and I have uh, a great idea for $12,500, would you have some questions, or would you just say just do it? So we think you should have some questions. So our sales staff has a lot of empathy, and we plan to be there for 2 hours.
I know why you're successful. One reason is your sales process. It's so important to have both decision makers. And you know what? I know you know that this is true what I'm about to say. People lie. So the husband will say, "Oh, I make all the final decisions."
Yeah,
Sure
right.
enough, "Oh, I need to ask my wife. I thought you said on the phone." Well, so people do lie. So it doesn't matter, right? You don't take that, "Yeah, sure, we'll just present to you." We really need to have, Mr. and Mrs. at the table.
Absolutely. We tell them that when we're setting the appointment. We tell them that as soon as we get to the door, my staff is trained to say, on the phone, the call center has prepped you or both decision makers here or anyone in the decision making process. And if they say no, we reset the appointment. If
Yep,
they say yes, and then when you lay out numbers and people's getting in their wallet, it changes things. So we're professionally aggressive, I'll say, in that area. If they tell us at the door that yes, I'm the only decision maker, and then when the numbers come out, they say, "Hey, I got to call my wife or
mm,
husband." We say, "With all due respect, Mister or Mrs. Jones, what changed from the door to now? Because
yep,
you told me at the door that you are able to make all the decisions."
yep. And, we know that it's often a crutch, an excuse, a way to put off that contractor for a while by saying, "Well, I need to talk to my spouse." I mean, that's that's just a way to deflect the urgency of you closing right now, but it's not fair. You see this in the insurance business as well. A lot of different services and products being sold to homeowners. You want both decision makers, and trust me, almost always both have a say in it. The wife may have 95%, but maybe the husband has 5. Maybe the wife has 30% and the husband has 70. It's almost never 100% unless it's a smaller dollar deal. So maybe
Yeah,
if it's a $1,500 repair, they might say, "I can authorize this." But if it's a $15,000 roof, mm-mm, almost never.
yeah. Yeah, my wife and I have a rule. Anything over $1,500, we talk to each other about it,
Mhm.
and I think that's good. And we also when we're on the phone with them setting the appointment, say, "Hey, I would encourage you to look up what a roof costs these days."
Mm.
because we're right at or right above market value,
Yep.
but you get our value, which is someone coming out in 24 hours, showing up when we say we're going to show up. You get not you see all kind of horror stories on Facebook because you got Chuck in the truck that he's his whole business.
Mhm.
So if he don't show up, there's nobody for you to call. So he has no accountability. So we have the estimator, the salesperson, we have a project manager, we have a supervisor, we have the COO, and then right now in my business, you can even call me.
That's fantastic. What type of warranty do you offer on the service side? I'm not talking about the shingle itself from the manufacturer. We know there's some great warranties there. But
Yeah.
let's say you come and re-roof my home, and in 2 weeks I call you because I'm not happy with something. What's the response? Do you just come out and say, "Yes, sir, we'll fix it," or "Wait a second, we've got some limitations to that?"
That's a great question. So when we do a roof, Reputable Roofing does a roof, we do everything. That's pipe boots, that's chimney,
Mm.
anything on the roof, we redo it. Therefore, we can hold complete responsibility of the roof. So if some contractors will go out and do the roof, but not replace the box fence, not replace the pipe boot, not do the chimney flashing, then anything in that area they can blame on that thing. So when we take full responsibility of the roof, we go out there and it's our fault.
Mhm.
We take complete extreme ownership of it and we fix it. Now we have ran into some things where we did a roof and it's still leaking in their chimney.
Mm.
Ended up being the crown on their chimney, or it's going in through the chimney, through the
Yes.
bricks. It's going in the siding. We do our due diligence. We've gotten so many reviews on, hey, this happened, but they came back out and fixed it, and that goes a very long way. Just this week, it was awesome to see this come to fruition after so many years. I did a little. I popped a piece of siding. Well, not me. One of my guys popped up a piece of siding for an elderly lady that was looking for somebody, looking for somebody. She made the mistake to put the picture up there and say, "Hey, I just need this fixed, only this, and I don't really have much money on the Social Security."
Yeah.
I seen it. I sent my guy out there. I paid him $150. Didn't charge her anything. 2 weeks later, she ran into some money. She got her roof done and fully redecked. And then last week, her daughter called us and we're doing a full siding project on that same house 2
For
years
a
later.
for a $150 investment, but really it came from the heart first, and the 150 is money you expected to lose because you wanted to do the right thing.
That's right. And it's that will uh 2, 3, 4, 5, 10x, 100x. It already has.
It pays dividends. Absolutely. Speaking of Xing, you've told me that you're going to more than double your revenue, your top line this year. What are some of the things you're putting in place, Dustin, to make that happen?
So some of the key principles that we've done is I went to Freedom last year.
Mhm.
I was actually an ambassador for him, but I was in there. I was listening to the guys. I was soaking it in. These guys are serving a lot of people, helping a lot of people, and making a lot of money. And you put them to you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want. That kept ringing in my head, and I came back, wrapped all of our trucks and vans, got a new office. I got in 6 local shows. I rebranded, and it's already paying off. That was in September when I went. Um, I didn't want to wait until this time in March to, start applying all this stuff. So the winter is usually slower for us.
Yeah.
It kicked our butt this year because we was putting systems in place. Like you talked about the E-Myth. Like I'm
Mhm.
almost done with it. You interviewed Michael, and I'm putting that into work. We hired some new sales and estimators, hired a project manager to get faster, and I'm now starting to see I'm going to more chamber meetings. I'm meeting with different companies. I literally just got off the phone with a hospital that was referred to us. Word of mouth, we've won Best of Butler County 3 years in a row in Butler County. So we're just doing some good stuff, man. But it all starts with having that servant mindset.
You're right. With that, you probably can't fail. How did you hear about the freedom event, Tommy Mello's Home Service Freedom event?
So that's funny because Tommy's huge now, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Like I hear him, I see him like I see him everywhere now. Um, so when I got asked by Marshall Silver to come help out the team, I was like, "Yeah, I'll go." I had no idea who Tommy was,
Mm.
and he's got this extraordinary. Obviously, I'm in Ohio. There's not an A1 that I've seen around here, so that was it. Just shows you he's a servant as well. He's a constant learner. I actually got to meet him, shake his hand. We was at the private event at the stadium at the Padres Stadium. Um, he's a complete servanthood. So I locked in once I met him. I'm a really good judge of character. He really wants to serve. He really wants to help, and he really wants to make a bunch of money. And that's really in alignment with me. So that's how I met Tommy. But now he's everywhere. You don't know what you don't know until you meet somebody. So now this year we got the tickets, the platinum tickets to go back, and I'm taking my COO as well
In Vegas.
in Vegas.
Yeah. Um, Tommy and his team put on a great event. This will be his 3rd home service freedom event of that size, the annual event. He has some smaller ones throughout the year. And I've known Tommy for a long time. We work with him, doing all kinds of stuff, like a direct response radio program to pump more volume into his business and video podcasts and so forth. But he's also a friend of mine. And getting to know him is great for you, Dustin. It's great for anybody, and I think the reason why you see Tommy everywhere now, it's one of those things, once you see something, then you see it. It's like a car or a truck. You start looking at a new truck, and all of a sudden, you see it on the road everywhere, and you're like, "Oh, yeah, I guess it was always there," but, Tommy is well known in the home service space, and he does want to serve people, his team members, his employees, his customers, and people who are outside of that, such as you and other home service professionals.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I was getting at. My RAS, reticular activating system, like
Yep.
you said, when you get a new truck, when you get now he's everywhere, and I'm like, how didn't I know about this guy? So I believe I'm a man of faith. So I believe that Marshall asked me to work that event because me and him have a great relationship now.
Yeah,
But also, he knew that I can relate to these guys and gals, and help them out.
absolutely. Did you always know you wanted to be in home service as a contractor? I mean, when you were younger, what'd you wanna be?
Man, I'd rather not say. It wasn't a good. It wasn't good coming up. I wanted to be a firefighter.
Okay.
That's not the not good thing. There's many.
Okay.
I was just hanging around some people that wasn't doing the right things.
Mm.
I grew up on a poverty level. I don't say that because I don't want any kind of sympathy or anything. I was homeless a few different times, and I believe that's one of the driving factors that I have 6 children and an amazing wife. So I don't want them to ever experience that. So that's why I drive so hard. But I did not ever know. My dad was a tear off roofer for 14 years. Doesn't even know how to shingle. Um, and yeah, I had no idea. I was selling cars. Guy came in making a bunch of money, $16,000 a month. I'm like, but he had terrible credit. Um, and he let me know what he was doing, and I said, "Well, can I, come right along? I'm intrigued." I was making $7,000 a month at the time,
Mhm, mhm.
so that was over double. And So I put my 2 weeks in after 2 car rides, and I got to work. That was door to door sales, and I did really well at it until they asked me to do something that uh, wasn't of great integrity.
Mhm.
And I had a decision right there to make. I had some money saved up then. So I said, "Oh, this ain't it." So I quit. I'm not doing that. It's not right. And like I said, man of faith, God put it in my lap to get hired on at one of the largest roofing companies in the nation. So I worked there for almost 2 years, and I sold a roof to a little old lady in a little town in our area. Didn't have my pricing sheet, so I thought I knew where I could sell it at.
Mhm.
And when I got my commission check on that one, it was like $14.
My goodness.
And I said, this ain't right. I sold this at X amount of dollars per square. And they're like, yeah, it should have been X amount of dollars per square more.
Mm.
And I understand, how they get their pricing. I've felt like it was price gouging. Some people save their whole life and they've got a life savings and the roof starts leaking. It's a necessity. So they have to do it. So I didn't really like that. And then my cousin asked me to, said she needed a roof done, knew I was in the roofing industry. I went out there. It was about $2,500 more than she had. And she had an active leak in her kitchen. And I talked with my manager at the time and said, "Hey, man, this is my cousin. Can we help her out? Can we meet her in the middle? Can we do something?" And the answer was just no. Didn't think about it, didn't talk about it. That's the corporate world.
Yeah.
Right then and there, I said, "This ain't right, man. These things are adding up that I'm not liking in this company." So I went upon myself. I went to a local manufacturer that I'm still with today. They've helped me grow this business. Kudos to them. It's called Edgeco. And they've answered all my questions and helped me grow this company. I'm so grateful for them. I went there, seeing what the materials would cost for how many squares she had, and I ended up saving her that $2,500. So I did it for what she had, and I ended up making double what I would have made at that other company. So
Wow.
in my servanthood, I went into service for her and ended up making double for myself.
Do you like working for yourself, building your own company, employing people, and having to manage it? Because you've gone from pretty much a salesperson into being a business owner. Huge difference.
Huge difference, and I'm still in the process of learning that.
Mhm.
So, last year I'm very transparent parent with my guys. I lay everything out. Here's what it is. This works for you. I'd love to have you. If not, this ain't the company for you. And I'm talking about down to the number, what we make, what they. I just it doesn't. I don't hide them things.
Yeah.
Um, so last year I made about the same as I made my first year, and I could make a good living off that. I
Mhm.
did 800,000 my first year in business by myself. No overhead, no office, no salespeople, no office people, none of that. That's not that's not great enough for me.
Wow.
I want I just got a nice pool installed, in my backyard last year. I want my sales guys to have a nice pool. I wanna be able to go to their house, not come to my house. I want them to drive nice trucks. I want them to have nice homes. I want them to take vacations whenever they want, as long as they let me know. And, I want that for others, and I was very I do not need you guys to make this income. I need you guys to grow this business, to help more people. 'Cause I was doing everything. Just like I mean, this book is dead on. I was doing everything, and, I wasn't happy with, how my home life was,
Mm.
my social life. I wasn't happy with none of that. Tommy talks about that when he got interviewed on the Hard Knocks, like, "You guys don't want my life. I work 16, 18 hours a day. Like, you guys couldn't do this." So yeah, that's what transitioned me, though.
Yeah. Tommy does work hard. He loves it. It appears that you love it. And when I hear you speak about helping your team members build and live their dreams, I think of Tommy. He has dream managers at his company where they help their employees live out their dreams. Are you doing that type of thing too? How do you manage that? How do you bring that dream to fruition for someone who is basically a salesperson? They're, a technician, they answer phones, whoever they are. How do you get them to live their dream?
Um, you do the work. You have the discipline.
Mm.
Like Tommy, he said it himself. I'm not saying this about it. He said, I'm fat. September 26th, I took a picture in the hotel room, and now I'm in the best shape of my life
Mm.
because of Tommy. So he helped me do that. I send on. We have a group chat with all the salespeople. I send them motivational quotes. They see me up at 4 o'clock working. I send them messages from 3 a.m. to 9 p.m. at night, so they know I'm working. I send them books, quotes out of the books. They see me working out. One of the guys has lost 30 pounds. The other guy is started his workout journey last week. So um, success leaves clues, man.
Yes.
So I seen Tommy up there looking jacked, and he was fat before. And I had a group call, and I said, "Hey guys, this is what I'm doing right now. I'm not telling you to do this. I always say I encourage you to do this."
Mhm.
And I went deep. I went to the toothpaste I'm using, to the shower I'm using, to the shower head I'm using, the soft water, the books I'm reading. We started a book challenge. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, Jim, because
Yeah.
I didn't really think of that. I instill it in them, but I believe that them seeing me do it
Mhm.
is what intrigues them to do
So basically you're running a cult. I'm kidding. It's it's
it.
it's it is that mindset though of I mean it's like being part of a church, right? You're leading it. You're preaching what should be done, but they also follow what you do. And you have followers, and if they don't like it, they'll probably leave, but you'll attract more people like you and your team members. And like any well run organization, the culture has to be good. And the larger it gets, it has to be even better because you don't want these cancer points in there because it
Yeah,
starts to spread and it's just ugly. I will tell you this, people are people. And so you're going to have some really great people and you're going to have some not so great people. Saying that, how do you manage that? Because I know that in your business, you've had some points where you're like, wish this person would just leave. How do you manage the people who aren't really good? Do you work with them, or after a point in time, do you just ask them to go away?
great question, man. I just had to do this a couple months back. Um, I had a guy that was, motivated, talked a big game, uh, even done it for a short period of time, about a week. Followed the success principles that I've laid out for him. Was doing the DMOs, the daily method of operations that I ask. And the hardest thing in life, I believe, is consistency doing these things. Like I've got a cold plunge. Like I've got to do it 3 days a week now. Like if not, it won't be my investment. So in my business, I will definitely pour out my heart into them. Um, I've got about a 60-day rule. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you'll know. And I prep them. If I stop answering your calls, stop answering your questions, um, you're pretty much on your way out.
Mhm.
And I let them sink themselves because in our business, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you'll sink yourself. If you're not knocking doors, if you're not going to the leads on time, if you're not doing all these things. And I had to have the conversation. because he is that guy that's like, I'm not going to quit. I said, hey, this isn't the best position for you. You have to go.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's not just for me. It's selfish for me to keep you when you're not performing and making any money.
It's not a good fit, and
Good
if it's
fit.
not a good fit, it's not good for you, the business owner, it's not good for that employee, and it's not good for the rest of the team members. So, it just has to happen, and those are hard decisions some people don't wanna make as a manager, as the owner. They just hope that the person doesn't show up the next day, but it's not always that easy. Sometimes these people hang around for a while, and sometimes you just gotta do the Elon Musk thing. You're
Yeah.
fired.
Yeah.
The hatchet man, right? You gotta take it out. Hey, look, Dustin, I could talk to you for days. This has been awesome. Can I have you back on the podcast in the near future?
Yeah, man. I'd love to jump back on with you.
I'd appreciate that. Thank you so much for your time today.
All right. See you, Jim.